Renting versus buying property in South Africa. This is a question that is asked quite a lot. Which one is best for you? Driven by attractive interest rates in the last few years and more lenient loan criteria, more and more people started considering buying instead of renting. While many, particularly the millennial generations, chose to travel and live more freely in the past, priorities have since changed. The pressing question right now is, should I continue renting or should I buy? The simple answer is to do your homework and to consider the pros and the cons. Before we jump into all the nitty-gritty stuff, I would like to ask you to subscribe to my channel. It's been around a year since I uploaded my first video and I have really been enjoying the journey. Follow along and support me, and hopefully you learn a thing or two along the way. So before you even begin to look around for property, make sure to request a free home loan pre-qualification. These can be easily accessed online via bond originators such as Uber Home Loans. This gives you an idea of what you can afford and what your credit rating is. A credit rating of 600 plus is what you need to be considered for a home loan. A pre-qualification is a great place to start in determining whether you would qualify for a bond or not. In addition, I advise potential buyers to start scoping out the property market at least 3 to 6 months prior to putting in an offer to purchase. Once you know what you can afford, chat to the agents in that area and register to receive alerts from Property24 and Private Property that gives you a better idea of what is available in your price range, what properties go for in areas of your choice, and what the demand is like. Doing your research will empower you when it comes to making a deal. It gives you a bargaining power through your knowledge of the area and the market in general. So, to rent or not to rent? Let me share some pros and cons of renting, and let's first start with the pros. The first pro is that you have flexibility. If you are undecided of where you want to invest or whether your income will be secure in the long term, then renting is probably for you. Another pro is you are not responsible for added costs. Homeowners are sometimes hit with costs that tenants don't have to factor in, and these are costs that relate to maintenance, levies, rates and taxes, and even home insurance. Another pro is less responsibility. Renting a small lock-up and go is appealing for those who want as little maintenance as possible, and in addition, if one were to be retrenched or you lose your job or needed to move quickly, it would be much simpler. So now let's start with some cons. The first con is there's no return on investment. The obvious downfall is that you are paying for an asset that you don't own and you will not make any returns on. Another con is that you are bound by rules and regulations. Tenant agreements are rigid and a tenant is bound by this. Failure to comply can result in fines, further legal action in worst case scenarios, obviously. So, to buy or not to buy? Firstly, if you are considering buying a home, a question that I often receive is it better to finance your home over 20 or 30 years? And on a 20-year bond, you pay lower interest rates with higher monthly repayments, whereas on a 30-year bond, you pay higher interest rates with a lower monthly repayment. A 30-year bond is better suited to an investor who has a tenant to cover their monthly repayments, and there is a higher chance of achieving a positive cash flow. However, paying off your bond sooner is better for some. Add an extra $500 to your monthly repayment at minimum and you will see the difference that it makes. Chat to your bond originator to help you do the math, or use an extra bond payment calculator online. So let's get to the pros and cons of home ownership. The first pro is ownership and equity. Owning an asset regardless of the economic climate is a positive. If you look after your home and focus on paying it off quickly, you can still make a return rather than paying off someone else's bond. Another pro is freedom. You now get to decorate, renovate and call the shots for the most part. Another pro is a rental income as an additional revenue stream. If you are looking to rent out your place, then a tenant can cover your bond and hopefully all of your bills. Another pro is the benefit to your credit score and finances. Your mortgage account is a great place to put your savings. It accumulates interest and it's also got a low interest rate should you wish to borrow against it in the future. In addition, making repayments on your home each month, obviously on time, improves your credit record. To add to this, there are also quite a lot of tax benefits. Now, the cons are hidden costs. Be sure to download a home loan calculator prior to putting in an offer to purchase. This way you know what the transfer fees are as well as the attorney fees. Remember that there are transfer attorneys for properties over R1 million as well as bond registration attorneys, so you will need to factor in all these fees. Also remember to factor in your monthly home loan cost, which is usually around $70 per month, as well as your bank initiation fees, which can be as much as R6,000. Now, another con is less mobility, and spur of the moment decisions to backpack the world or relocate for work will require more thinking and a lot of admin time. Another con is the returns are not guaranteed. No returns are set in stone and you might overinvest over time and never make your money back, let alone turn profit. That is why it is important for some to do their research prior to purchasing and to pay off your home loan as quick as possible if you decide to live in it and not rent it out. This is the route that you follow if you are not an investor. So I thought I'd leave you with some tips for renting and buying. If you prefer to rent for now, try to rent directly from the owner to minimize any additional costs. Also try to save up as much money as you can while renting to prepare for any future property purchases. If I had the option, I would probably still live with my parents so that I can save every rand that I make. So when buying, always buy below your maximum affordability and always make lower offers, because you make your money when you buy. Lastly, remember to do what is best for your finances and don't compare yourself to other people just because they are renting or buying. Follow your own head and compete with yourself and don't compete with others.